I took a contract to bury the body of Blasphemous Bill McKay. Whenever, wherever, or whatsoever the manner of death he died. Whether he die in the light of day or under the peak-faced moon, in cabin or dance hall, camp or dive, mucklucks or patent shoe, on velvet tundra or virgin peak, by glacier drift or draw, in muskeg hollow or canyon gloom, by avalanche, fang or claw, by battle, murder or sudden wealth, by pestilence, hooch or lead. I swore on the book I would follow and look till I found my tombless dead. For Bill was a dainty kind of cuss, and his mind was mighty socked on a dinky patch with flowers and grass in a civilized boneyard lot. And where he died or how he died, it didn't matter a damn, so long as he had a grave with frills and a tombstone epigram. So I promised him, and he paid the price in good Chichico coin, which the same I blowed in that very night down in the Tenderloin. Then I painted a 3-foot slab of pine. Here lies poor Bill McKay, and I hung it up on my cabin wall, and I waited for Bill to die. Years passed away, and at last one day came a squaw with a story strange of a long deserted line of traps way back of the Bighorn Range, of a little hut by the Great Divide, and a white man stiff and still lying there by his lonesome self, and I figured it must be Bill. So I followed the contract I'd made with him, and I took down from the shelf the swell black box with the silver plate he'd picked out for himself. And I packed it full of grub and hooch, and I slung it on the sleigh. Then I harnessed up my team of dogs and was off at dawn of day. You know what it's like in the Yukon wild when it's 69 below, when the ice worms wriggle their purple heads through the crust of the pale blue snow, when the pine trees crack like little guns in the silence of the wood, and the icicles hang down like tusks under the Parker hood, when the stovepipe smoke breaks sudden off and the sky is weirdly lit, and the careless feel of a bit of steel burns like a red-hot spit, when the mercury is a frozen ball and the frost fiend stalks to kill. Well, it was just like that day when I set out to look for Bill. Oh, the awful hush that seemed to crush me down on every hand, as I blundered blind with a trail to find through that blank and bitter land. Half dazed, half crazed in the winter wild, with its grim heartbreaking woes, and the ruthless strife for a grip on life that only the sourdough knows. North by the compass, north I pressed, river and peak and plain, past like a dream I slept to lose, and I wake to dream again. River and plain and mighty peak, and who could stand unknawed? As their summits blazed, he could stand undazed at the foot of the throne of God. North I north through a land accursed, shunned by the scouring brutes, and all I heard was my own harsh word and the whine of the Malamutes. Till at last I came to a cabin squat, built in the side of a hill, and I burst in the door, and there on the floor, frozen to death lay Bill. Ice, white ice like a winding sheet, sheathing each smoke-grimed wall. Ice on the stovepipe, ice on the bed, ice gleaming over all. Sparkling ice on the dead man's chest, glittering ice in his hair. Ice on his fingers, ice in his heart, ice in his glassy stare. trussed like a frog, with his arms and legs outspread. I gazed at the coffin I brought forth, and I gazed at the gruesome dead. And at last I spoke. Bill liked his joke, but still gold in his eyes. A man had ought to consider his mates in the way he goes and dies. Have you ever stood in Antarctica, in the shadow of the pole, with a little coffin 6x3 and a grief you can't control? Have you ever sat by a frozen corpse that looks at you with a grin, and that seems to say you may try all day, but you'll never jam me in? I'm not a man of the quitting kind, but I never felt so blue as I sat there gazing at that stiff and studying what I do. And I rose and I kicked off the husky dogs that were nosing round about, and I lit a roaring fire in the stove, and I started to thaw Bill out. Well, I thought and thought for 13 days, but it didn't seem no good. His arms and legs stuck out like pegs, as if they was made of wood. Till at last I said it ain't no use, he's froze too hard to thaw. He's obstinate and he won't lie straight, so I guess I got the song. So I sawed off poor Bill's arms and legs, and I laid him snug and straight. In the little coffin he dipped himself with a dinky silver plate. And I came nigh near to shedding a tear as I nailed him safely down. Then I stowed him away in my Yukon sleigh, and I started back to town. So I buried him as the contract was, in a narrow grave indeed. And there he's waiting the great cleanup when the judgment sluice head sweet. And I smoke my pipe and I meditate in the light of the midnight sun. And sometimes I wonder if there was the awful things I'd done. And as I sit in the parson talks, expounding of the law,